Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel World of Wrestling here today to discuss about random wrestling talk. Episode number 21. Hold on one second. I forgot to put my headset on just before I logged in to start this stream. So give me 1 second to get my headset off the floor. Yes, folks, I'm always prepared, right? Wow, that was a shitty fucking start. Yes, I know, Matt. Very professional. I understand. This is just it's a hobby, man. It's not like I'm full-fledged getting paid for this shit. Jeez, man. Take a chill pill. We'll get into the fun stuff here. Two major things going on in wrestling that is buzzing like crazy. Daniel, I thank you very much for showing up early. I hope you're still in here. Um, and man, I gotta tell you guys, man, this has been one crazy ass couple of days since after Thursday, man. I mean, we got MJF getting erased from AEW website, their roster, his merchandise has been removed. He's being removed from anything commercial wise on TNT and TBS for both Rampage and Dynamite. On top of that, it seems like everybody is thinking this is a work. I'm asking myself, how is this a work? How can all of this be a work, man? Really, how can this all be a fucking work? It's crazy. But a lot of people are thinking that this is actually all part of the work. And I got to say, guys, I will go on record right now saying this, that if that is the case, um, I will openly admit this. Tony Khan is the god of wrestling as a wrestling promoter. I mean, this guy has done the absolute unique thing ever done in pro wrestling before. I've never seen anyone actually pull something like this off before. It is insane. Um, what he is doing is spectacular. It's totally out of the box, and it's very impressive. But hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna take it as an actual shoot that uh Ted Turner and Time Warner Turner, whatever you want to call it, plus Discovery are both upset with what's going on with MJF. And they requested Tony Khan to remove him permanently off of everything. So I'm gonna just go with this is actually a real thing until I see differently. But it could possibly be a work too. And if that's the case, that's fucking unbelievable. Anyway, let me go into some of the comments. Matt87 Eagle wanted to say, I expect this kind of lazy prep from Bruce and Vince, but not from World of Wrestling. Matt, bro, uh, I'm not a multi-million dollar company like Vince and Bruce, okay? I'm not working in a magnificent uh, you know, company or anything like that. Um, but hey, man, I apologize to you guys. I know that came out very weird in the beginning that I didn't have my headset on like I usually do. I was in a hurry. I was trying to go to the bathroom real quick before I started the stream. I'd hate to say to you guys, hey, I got to go use the restroom right in the middle of a live stream. That would be kind of weird. So I was trying to hurry up as soon as possible before it got too late for us to start the stream anyway. I was running a little late anyhow. Big On says a bad Raw episode in 1993 is better than anything in WWE now. Obviously. We're gonna talk about a little bit of what happened last night on Monday Night Raw because oh my god. I think some logic gaps were definitely lost in all of last night's Raw, especially Judgment Day. Folks, I'm going to get into Judgment Day, and you guys are going to fucking laugh your asses off at this Because Rachel Buck, which I don't see, she's in the chat right now, she even pointed out that Finn Balor may be the guy to join Judgment Day. And I even said that he should be the leader because if he became the demon, it would make a lot more sense to eventually take Edge out of the group. But to do that right away, um, I'm like, what? And we'll discuss that. Matt 87 Eagle said TK, I was gonna say T-Con, TK knows how to create some amazing long-term booking. I hope this is a work, because if this is legit, boy, is MJF in deep shit. And not to mention, so is AEW, because they can't afford to lose Cody and MJF all at the same time, and then bring in MJF along with Cody, because MJF will get the the jetpack to his back and launch him to the stratosphere, man. They will automatically put him in the main event scene because of what he's done in AEW has been outstanding. Big On says I'm thinking of Judgment Day pay-per-view. Yeah, I don't understand what the fuck they were thinking with that line. I was thinking Terminator 2, since Bruce Pritchard uses a lot of creative ideas from movies he might have watched from classic movies, and he puts them and intermingles them, or installates, whatever you want to say, you know, place that type of storyline or that type of characteristic in a character on the live on their shows and whatnot. That's what they kind of do with these creative ideas, since they are lazy as fuck to create their own. And just, you know, real simple. They just should make it like a simplistic wrestling show that people can just enjoy and have fun watching, and cut the repetitive matches out. Building a larger than life character, that is going to have to come from the performers themselves. You got to let them do that. If you're not looking for that and you don't care for anyone to get over, well, then you're going to fail, which is basically, I guess, what WWE wants to do, is fail so they can sell the company off to somebody else. Why they want to fail while selling it makes no sense to me. But hey, Vince is a fucking retard. He makes no sense. And I guess he figures the less amount of work with the most profit. I guess he figures that's what he's going to try to do and see if that can get over. I mean, it has, except for that one little incident with Money in the Bank just recently, which might continue to happen for him because people don't want to waste their money to go see these fucking events anymore, because they're not all that fun, and there's not a lot of effort put into them. You're spending a lot of money for a lackluster show, and that is retarded. I mean, if you want to give us the kind of quality you used to back in the day and charge people that kind of money, why people will be interested in spending it. If they have a problem with SummerSlam, folks, WWE has a big problem, a huge problem. Money in the Bank was a surpriser in its own right, man. Seriously, I do not understand how the fuck that happened. I really don't. I was surprised that they were unable to at least sell 40,000 tickets for them to stay in that stadium for that event, and they had to cancel it and like move it over to MGM Grand, which only has like 17,000 capacity to fit. So, man, that is fucked up. Really, that is fucked up, man. But hey, it is what it is, guys, I guess. Definitely goes to show you that WWE's got nothing going for them, and they're just a complete laughing stock. Matt 87 Eagle says Edge has been terminated. Yes, that is correct. He has been terminated by the Terminator. Hasta la vista, baby. Big On says, any recent updates on Tori Wilson and Kelly Kelly? What the fuck would I care about them for? Big On. I mean, they were two hot looking chicks, but honestly, they didn't bring any wrestling value to the shows. If you're looking for eye candy, yeah, but I have no idea what they're doing or where they are in their careers at this point or, professionally. So I don't particularly care to see them back in wrestling anyway. Um, they were just hot looking chicks. That's about all they had to offer to pro wrestling. Matt 87 Eagle says, seriously, these gimmick premium live events need to go. Well, obviously, we didn't need Hell in a Cell this past Sunday. We really didn't. All we need is build up towards Money in the Bank. That would have been suitable enough. If you wanted to have a match between Cody and Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell, they could have done it on a Raw episode if they wanted to, or save it for SummerSlam. Have these two compete in the Money in the Bank briefcase match. And they both are like the last two guys at the top of the ladder, causing a huge eruption at a Seth Rollins afterwards, with Cody winning the briefcase. And they have a war inside Hell in a Cell for the briefcase. That would have been a really cool idea to do for SummerSlam. It might have prevented from Cody getting that torn pec off the bone, but there's no guarantee that that actually would have happened. So honestly, I don't quite know why they needed this pay-per-view so darn badly to do when they really had nothing going for them in this pay-per-view. And not to mention, there was nothing remotely important about SmackDown on this show. I thought these two brands were supposed to be on pay-per-views month to month. This seems like it was a Raw exclusive pay-per-view at one SmackDown match. That's it. I mean, what a fucking joke. And you have Raw announcers calling a match for Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. That was ridiculous. And not to mention, it wasn't even necessary. But whatever, man. I have no idea. Matty's 87 Eagle continues to say, bring back the surprise when a fuel calls for a Hell in a Cell. Exactly. And get rid of the fucking red cell, man. What the hell is that shit? I want to see a red fence all around that bitch and on the top of it. I don't need to see some stupid red gimmicky Hell in a Cell to sell off like it's a blood red freaking piece of equipment, when in reality, the only red blood we see is on the cell, because we don't see it in a fucking ring at all. I mean, these guys go to war, and they're supposed to be going to war anyway, not just having some regular ordinary match. But by the way, Cody and Seth Rollins, for their Hell in a Cell match, I said it before and I'll say it again. That was one of the best Hell in a Cell matches in quite a while. I mean, we've had plenty of Hell in a Cell matches, and that was the best one in, I'd say, about 5 years. I'd say the last decent Hell in a Cell match was Seth Rollins and John Moxley in 2014. Other than that, the rest of these Hell in a Cells leading up to this one of this year, they're not even worth anybody's fucking time, man. Not even worth anybody's time. Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, that was a good one inside Hell in a Cell, but it wasn't all that great. I mean, it was, a climax to a feud that was supposed to be an ending, and that was basically it. But, I mean, outside of the Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns match, maybe a few others that were just average Joe Hell in a Cells, they never really stuck out to me. I can't even fucking remember half of them. That happened in Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So it really doesn't fucking matter anyway. Daniel says, when I see the red cell, looks like WWE has made the crate challenge gone too far. Okay. But yeah, I mean, come on, man. You guys got to be out of your mind if you enjoy the red cell, because it doesn't look like a red cell. It looks like some stupid prop that's used to sell off how horrific it is from hell. Oh, yeah. Give me a fucking break. It's a joke. But let's get into some of these stories. We're going to talk about 3 different things. We're going to talk about the big hot stories between MJF, Cody Rhodes, and now the big the subpar important story that is something important to me is Edge with Judgment Day. Those are going to be the three stories we're going to discuss. I'm sure this is going to last us at least an hour. We're already 15 minutes in, so we'll get into some of this stuff. And, if you guys want to throw some chats in there just to talk about some random topics or whatnot, by all means, go ahead. If you want to ask me anything that you guys may have heard, online about wrestling news that I might have not known about, please, throw it out there if you like. Um, but let's get into first Cody Rhodes and the decision making of what took place at Hell in a Cell to allow Cody Rhodes to actually wrestle with a torn fucking pec. The first thing is this: how did he get the torn pec muscle? Well, it's real simple. They claim he got it from the brawl him and Seth Rollins did at the go home show for Monday Night Raw. Now, I'm not sure if that's the case. I didn't see anything awkward about him, but I guess it's kind of hard to tell when he's wearing clothes over his chest and everything. He didn't look like he was in any severe pain. He looked like he was just, doing his thing, selling the match and what have you. Excellent segment, by the way. But they claim it happened towards dealing with that segment, which when I heard that, I was like, oh shit. I kind of regret that they did that. But who was to think that he would get a partial torn pec muscle? But then things get a little illogical here. They come out and they say that he got the torn pec muscle completely off the bone when he went ahead and actually was weightlifting. Why the fuck would he be weightlifting with a partial torn pec muscle? That makes absolutely no fucking sense at all. Who in their fucking right mind would do that? I mean, you got to be out of your fucking mind. You already got a problem with your pec. You can't. You're already gonna need some kind of surgery done to it, at least I think. Why would anyone do that? I honestly do not believe he got that torn pec muscle from that segment with Seth Rollins. I really don't. I think he was exercising, he was working out, he's probably doing bench presses like they said, and it got torn off the bone by doing that. I think he might have overworked a muscle in his pec and it ripped off the bone. That's what I believe might have happened. Because any intelligent human being, which I don't think Cody is an idiot, would do something like that. They would actually go ahead, tear their pec muscle, and then work out the muscle anyway when it's torn. No fucking person with a brain would do something like that. And I don't think Cody would be that dumb. I honestly think that he got that torn pec muscle from weightlifting to begin with. I think they just added that on to make him look like he's this big, rough and tough bad guy who can take on the world. He's like a fucking god of some sort that he can take, do whatever and do whatever he wants, and that's it. End of story. I just feel that this whole thing is just a complete and utter misunderstanding, I think, or misinformation. Maybe they didn't have their information straight. I think he just got the porn, the torn pec muscle, from doing, the bench presses. That's the only way I figured he could have gotten something like that. Now, that's how that all took place, either from the segment, which they claim, and then him doing exercises with bench pressing, or he actually bench pressed and hurt his pec at that point in time. Whether that's the case, it doesn't matter. It's not here or there. The point is he has a torn pec muscle completely off the bone, and he's wrestling with this pec muscle issue at Hell in a Cell this past Sunday. Now, you'd think under normal circumstances, Cody Rhodes would not be doing this. This is not necessary. It's just a fucking Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. It's not that important. This is utterly retarded. Bottom line. Was it amazing what Cody did? Yes. He wanted to. That crowd had nothing to, sink their teeth in. I mean, honestly, all their money that was spent to go see that Cody versus Seth Rollins match inside Hell in a Cell. That was what everyone was paying their money to see. So you take that off the card, you got nothing, and then everyone's upset. So Cody did what he felt he possibly could do that's best for business, and that was to honor the fans in the fact that they spent their hard-earned money to see this piece of shit show, and they went to see him specifically, not for anybody else. He's the top billing. He's the guy that people want to see most of the time at this point, outside of Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins, he's like a bystander. And he just felt that people probably feel that he's an amazing athlete, but he's nowhere near the Cody Rhodes in that realm of entertainment. Because Cody is more real than all the rest. That's the point. That's the reason why Cody is getting over so well. He is playing who he was in AEW. To me, he's not even a WWE superstar. He's an AEW wrestler inside a WWE realm of wrestling. That's all he is. He is not WWE material. He's far above that. He belongs in AEW. But because of the fact WWE is smart enough to allow the man to just be himself like he was in AEW, he's getting over. People are entertained by him. They want to see more of him. They want to see him in main event spots and stuff like that. And that is the genius part of what WWE is doing. Now, if WWE would just go ahead and do that with the rest of their roster and let them be themselves instead of being sideshow clowns, they'd actually have a good product. People would be interested, including myself, because quite frankly, I have an itch every Monday night to want to go ahead and watch Raw. As you guys can tell, I have not covered Impact Wrestling in the last 3 weeks now. This is going on the third week of not covering Impact Wrestling. I just don't feel the need or the urgency to watch Impact Wrestling on a week-to-week basis. Do they have talented performers? Absolutely. I love their talent, but it's just covering them week to week. It doesn't, because they're not evolving, they're not improving, they're not getting bigger. To me, it just doesn't feel any reason to cover their show. And that's why you guys haven't seen it. Seen me cover Impact Wrestling on a day-to-day basis. So that is the reason why I haven't covered it. I apologize to the people that are interested in Impact Wrestling. I know there's Impact Wrestling fans out there, and I probably have gotten some subs off of that. But honestly, guys, I'm doing this for free. And I asked Daniel if he was interested in wanting to do Impact Wrestling. I didn't get a response back, and I'm not taking any offense to that, Daniel. So no worries there, man. If you are unable to do that, that's totally fine. But Daniel, I was all for the idea of maybe letting you cover Impact Wrestling here on the channel, and you and I can work together. Since you are, a huge fan of mine, I'd like to throw you on here if you'd like to go ahead and do that. If not, I totally understand, man. This is not easy stuff. This wear and tears on you mentally, and it tires you the fuck out. So honestly, I can understand. I can understand maybe you're not interested in doing that. Maybe you're not a fan of Impact Wrestling altogether. If that's the case, then I totally understand that too. But bottom line, that's the reason why I'm not covering Impact Wrestling, is because I just don't have the urgency to do it. If WWE got better with their television shows, they actually put some effort into it, I would definitely cover Raw and SmackDown, because I do every once in a while want to check out the show, see how it is for my own perspective, to see if I actually find it to be shitty. And most of the time, I do. I certainly do, man. I cannot sit through these shows, man. I tried it for 3 fucking months. The road to WrestleMania this year was terrible. It was absolutely boring as fuck. You bring Cody in here, he's doing everything he can possibly do to elevate himself. If you're allowing him to do what he's doing on your television show week to week, why not let everyone else do the same? I just do not understand this. This is absolutely retarded. They'd have so many good superstars on their show, but unfortunately they refuse to do so. So I'm not I don't know what to say outside of just WWE purposely trying to fail, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand why they want to fail. But hey, I mean, if you're selling the company, why wouldn't you want to continue to provide good television so that when you decide you want to sell it, you get a higher value for it? Because honestly, the route they're going to go ahead and go straight down the toilet to the point where WCW was at, and WWE's value is going to be totally terrible. And they're not going to get anything back for what they're looking for. But hey, that's WWE's choice. Let them. I don't give a shit. So a couple of comments were made by Daniel and Matt 87 Eagles. So let me go ahead and read that. Um, Daniel says that injury looked really bad, to be honest, but I gotta give Cody credit. He took the injury like a champ going into Hell in a Cell. Now I hope he has a good recovery. Well, Daniel, I got to admit, man, they didn't have to have that happen. They didn't have to have him actually go into Hell in a Cell with this serious injury. If they actually would have put effort, the key word is effort. They don't have to kill themselves to make it a good show. Small little things make shows a lot better. It's called just letting the stars do their job. They're supposed to sell. They are salesmen. Think of it this way. You go into a car shop, okay? A car dealership. You go into a car dealership. Are you going to micromanage your salesman and tell them how to sell a car? Or are you going to let them do what they need to do to sell the car without, getting in any kind of trouble or doing it illegally by having them do something that would get the car dealership into trouble? You would let them do what they got to do to sell the car, any means necessary. Why wouldn't you do the same thing with a wrestler? Let the performer sell you on the character, not the creative writing. Have them sell the audience on the character. They're not in the ring. They're not portraying that character. The performer is. Their job is to help sell you, the audience, us, the fans, on the character. I've said this millions of times on this channel. I've been on here since 2015. And I continue to say this over and over again. You go all the way back to 2015 when I first started the damn channel. I said it before and I will say it for the 100 millionth time. Let the performers sell the character. The writers cannot sell the characters. They can only give direction. That is the point of a creative writer, is give direction on where they want the story to go. Otherwise, but that's really all it is to it. I'm sorry, I got distracted with Daniel's comment. Let me go ahead real quickly. I apologize, Daniel. Let me go ahead real quick and just read this comment. Daniel says, I have nothing against Impact, but I don't think I'd be able to have the time to do Impact. Even if I have time, I'd just forget on accident as much as I'd love to help this channel. Sorry for the unfortunate answer, but I appreciate the offer to help. No, it's fine, dude. I totally understand. I mean, when you didn't answer me back, I kind of figured it was just a no, as a way of not saying no, kind of. I didn't take any offense to it, at all. I would love for anyone, because this is not easy. I'm doing like 8-9 hours a day on work. So I'm working about 45 hours a week practically. Because I'm trying to get overtime to get extra pay on my paycheck and so forth. So doing, having other people join in, Fightful Select actually do that. They actually have other people that work under that channel to cover other wrestling promotions. That's where I came up with the idea. So, I mean, again, like I said, if anyone is interested in wanting to join up in this channel, since it is called World of Wrestling, it doesn't have to be under just me. It can be under anyone that's interested or has the time to actually do it. So, if anyone's interested, just let me know. I'm here live. You can comment me in the comment section, what have you. But I mean, I'm going to do what I got to do, and I'm going to cover only what I can cover. So, I mean, sometimes things are going to be jumbled around, scheduling is going to be a little off. And I think that's one of the things that's hurt this channel a little bit is the fact that I start something and then I change it later on. And I do apologize about that, but I'd like to have a life, sit around, relax, chill a little bit, maybe go out on a date with a chick. you know, my life is, things outside of wrestling. I do have a life outside of that. And I don't think being centered around wrestling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is a very healthy lifestyle. I think that's a little bizarre. But I do love this sport. I love everything about it. Wrestling and football are my two passionate sports that I keep, constant with. I'm always looking up stuff about football and I'm looking stuff up about wrestling. So those are my two loved sports. But I gotta have a life, guys. And I'm gonna get off the subject because you guys understand. So I appreciate that. For the people that don't, well, I don't know what to tell you. I guess stay subscribed, enjoy what you got to watch. When I can cover it, I'll cover it. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'm not gonna kill myself over this shit. I'm not even getting paid to do this crap. So whatever, man. Anyway, Matt 87 Eagle actually commented and said, "This isn't like Punk who broke his foot jumping into a crowd before his mat with the FTR. Cody must have tore it working out." Yeah, I agree, Matt. And Matt also said that he thinks what they did was irresponsible. Uh, so that's just how he feels on that. Matt also stated after 4 weeks of not covering Impact, you win a free ice cream. Okay, thanks a lot, Matt. And then Matt 87 Eagle also stated WWE effort. That's a good one. Well, that's true. I mean, they don't show any signs of effort whatsoever. I mean, from what I heard, they finished their Raw script at 7:30 p.m. 30 minutes before the show started. Really. Your show is finished 30 minutes before. So everyone else has to rehearse this while the show's going on as it moves forward. So they maybe have like 15, 20 minutes to actually rehearse or, memorize their lines and what have you. Utterly ridiculous. Fucking nuts. Oh my God. But point being is, Cody went through what he went through is because of the fact they have not built other stars on their show. Hell in a Cell had nothing to offer to anybody. That's all there is to it, guys. So let's move on now to MJF and what's been going on with him. Man, MJF has been, like I said earlier in the live stream, he has been removed from everything on AEW's website, from merchandise to being on the roster page, everything. I honestly I don't know what to believe. I want you guys in the comments, since anyone that hasn't didn't catch this live, comment in the comment sections what you guys think of the MJF situation. Do you think that even with him being erased from AEW website, is this a work or is this legit? I'm going to go with legit for right now. I'm kind of leaning towards scripted, but this is something that's never happened before. Really, this has never happened at all. It's very shocking that this is actually taking place. But I mean, the reason why I'm saying it's legit is because they're now implementing the Ted Turner and the fucking whatchamacallit, discovery into all of this, which doesn't seem like this is legit work. I think this is more legit real than anything else. But Daniel states two things. MJF is so desperate lately. No, I'm not saying he's not desperate. This is him trying to get a storyline over, and he is definitely going ahead and just going all out with this. And Tony Khan's letting him. Daniel also states, I think MJF has crossed the line. Oh, okay. So he's crossed over to Impact Wrestling. That's something that they used to say, crossing the line. Just a little joke there. And I wouldn't be surprised if they remove MJF after the pipe bomb. Well, they did. They removed him after his big pipe bomb off of their AEW website. And so forth. So I'm not sure if this is legit or real. I mean, legit work or it's a real thing. I really don't know. It is bizarre. I mean, a lot of people are leaning towards a work, but everything that we see, we're now starting to think it's a work. It's not real. It's just a made up load of shit. I gotta go with go against the grain here and say this is legitimate because honestly, if it is a work, we will see MJF in that battle royal this the tomorrow definitely and facing John Moxley. If not, then I am leaning towards this is a legit thing. I don't think this is made up. I don't think this is bullshit. I really think this is real. I don't think that the Ted Turner and or Time Warner and the Discovery are very happy with what happened. I don't think they expected something like that. This is suits and ties, guys. Come on. You think they give a fuck about being, rigid and being all off the cuff and badass and everything? They're all politically correct douchebag suits and tie morons. They're like the assholes in WWE and the people that have timeshares in WWE. These people are not like a Tony Khan. They're not like a fucking they're not like other people that are interested in actually producing a good wrestling show. They're not a Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman, yeah, he may wear a suit and tie, but he doesn't act like a suit and tie jackass. He gives a fuck about producing the best wrestling show possible. He doesn't care about being politically correct. Sometimes being politically correct hurts your shows. I mean, look at Vince McMahon's shows. He's being politically correct. He's a family-friendly show. Oh, it's all lovey-dovey and all cool. We're all one big happy family, and we can allow our kids to watch the shows. Oh, yeah. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Look at AEW. AEW's got kids in the fucking audience watching these shows. These kids got fucking brains, man. They're watching the best wrestling product in the United States. So, whatever, man. It's whatever. I personally, it was timed. Matt 87 Eagle says it was timed. It was timed for what? The amount of cuss words he said? I mean, I don't understand any of this shit. Everybody's going, oh, it's a work. It's a work. They're all part of it. I'm not saying that this is a work. I'm saying this is legit until it's proven to me wrong. Until it's proven to me different, this is a fucking work to me. So maybe tomorrow I might be coming on here and saying to you guys, hey, it was a work. Because if it wasn't, guess what? He ain't going to be on the show next week. Why would you stop? Why would you automatically take him off the show? Why wouldn't you want him to raise more hell with Tony Khan, pissing him off, driving him absolutely bonkers like Stone Cold did to Vince McMahon? Only, yes, I understand. Tony Khan is nothing like Vince McMahon, and God help us all if Tony Khan became like Vince McMahon. Let's hope Vince McMahon becomes like Tony Khan, because that's the old Vince McMahon. At least Vince McMahon back in the day used to give a shit about his shows. Here, he doesn't give a fuck, you know. But bottom line, I mean, there's really nothing than MJF and TK got you. Matt, I will go ahead and admit tomorrow I'm wrong if that's the case. But quite frankly, you're including headarchies from Time Warner and Discovery. Do you honestly think they're actually going to be interested into being part of this bullshit? They're suits and ties. They're not about being rigid. They're not about being cool. And they don't give a fuck about some wrestling show. And that's the reason why wrestling has died for so long. Now, if it is legit, then I will openly admit to you guys this. Tony Khan is fucking Frankenstein of professional wrestling. He brought back kayfabe. That's all I can say to that. He's fucking Frankenstein. He brought kayfabe back to life. Because kayfabe at this point in day and age is fucking dead. And nobody, and I mean nobody, can dispute that with me. I remember back in the day when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash left WWF, and when Shawn Michaels and Triple H broke character to hug both Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, they went ahead and were punished for that. Shawn Michaels, not so much because he was a WWF champion at that point, but Triple H ate the big one on that for breaking character and giving hugs to Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. And the thing is, now we're seeing characters break, professional wrestlers breaking character in real life, killing kayfabe. You got Roman Reigns portraying this asshole, and then he's at the end of the show, he's like, hey guys, I'm happy that you all came out. I hope you had a great time. These live shows. And then they're being recorded, and he's asking them not to. And of course, they're not going to listen to him anyway. And there you go. Kayfabe's fucking dead. I mean, there's nothing there that will make you think that there's a mixture of reality and a work together on these shows. They're all works. This, yeah, I can see that there's a mixture of reality and a work, but why would they have to go to the extent of removing him on their website? I don't know. And why they would need to add Time Warner and Discovery into all this makes no sense to me. But hey, it will all be shown and revealed to us later on in time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe down the road. I don't know. But what I do know is I'm sticking with this is legit until otherwise. That's all I'm going to say on that. And hey, it is what it is for the time being. But I know one thing. If it is a work, I'm going to be pleasantly surprised, and I'm going to have a big ass fucking smile on my face. That's all I got to say on that, because they just pulled off one of the best storylines that's ever been done in professional wrestling's history. Period. Hands down, the century of all storylines ever created. That's all I have to say. And it's stuff that I've been talking about with you guys. Having reality TV on a professional wrestling show. Reality television works better with what we watch, pro wrestling, because yeah, the shows are fixed, but they're also in a way real because of the fact these people suffer injuries, they hurt each other, and they get bruised and fucked up beyond belief. The list of injuries that Kenny Omega went through is unbelievable. He had joint pain. He had mild hernias, sports hernias. This guy had parts with his body that was so fucked up over time, it's ridiculous. This guy, when he gets old, he may not be able to get out of a chair for all we know, which I hope he will be able to do that. But the guy has put his body through fucking hell. And honestly, and that's all. Honestly, that's pretty sad, to have a guy like Kenny Omega bust his ass like that in his old age. Is going to be a fucking cripple. But hey, that's the risk you take for being a professional wrestler the way he wrestles. That's why MJF doesn't wrestle that way. He probably doesn't want to end up, living in a fucking wheelchair for the rest of his life. I don't blame him. I think that type of wrestling style should only be used moderately. I don't think that we should see these flips and dives every fucking match. It's overkill, man. It's not exciting to see anymore. WCW did it great. They had one match where they'd have the cruiserweights wrestle, do all the flips and dives, and then move on to the next group of stuff. You know, the Jericho was perfect. He had some moves where he'd do the flips, some moves he would just do normal, ordinary wrestling holds. He was a perfect template of a way a wrestler should be back when he was in his prime. And he still does. He wrestles. He also does acrobatic stuff in certain aspects. He still can do the lion salt, all that kind of shit. So, bottom line, I mean, MJF is right. These wrestlers need to stop worrying about star ratings and worry more about their well-being, their safety, and the ability to do a good, sell a match to people without having to kill themselves to do it. If you look at Ultimate Warrior didn't do anything special in the ring. He was probably one of the worst wrestlers on the fucking planet. But what he could do is get you excited with his promos, his in-ring work. It was full of energy. I mean, you're going to tell me if you watched his match and you saw him grabbing those ropes and just shaking them like a fucking raving lunatic, getting all peeved up and ready to blow up in front of somebody and does several clotheslines, you're not going to get excited over that? You got to be out of your fucking mind, or you just don't like wrestling. Hulk Hogan with the whole "you" after several shots to the guy's back. I mean, that shit's fun. The catchphrase from Road Dogg and Billy Gunn for the Outlaws. I mean, that was fucking great every fucking time. In 2015, no matter how many times I've heard it, I still say the lines word for word along with Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. Hands down, it's one of the best intros to a match you'll ever see. I just have fun with that. I enjoy it. So there you go. Anyway, enough about MJF. I already gave you guys my insight. I think it's legit until proven different. Kind of like someone being innocent until proven guilty. So that's the way I feel on that. Anyway, moving on to Edge. Oh, folks, man. I said before, Edge and Finn Balor in the same group, probably not the best idea. I'd imagine if Finn Balor portrays the demon Finn Balor, it would probably get over with him as the demon, which I think Finn Balor needs to do. And I hope they go into that eventually. But let's be honest, guys. Why in the fuck did they make Edge get cut from the fucking Judgment Day? And who the hell, how the hell can you cut the leader out in less than 2 months? I can understand if this group was together for about a year. If they were together for about a year, Finn Balor joined in on the group at this point in time and then moved, they continue to move on with this group with Edge still the leader. And then after WrestleMania, they decided to have Finn Balor take over Judgment Day. But to do this out of nowhere, I honestly don't understand. This is illogical. What? Because Cody Rhodes got injured, we need a face to fill in Cody's spot? What the fuck? They could have had Seth Rollins do it. They had him and Cody Rhodes shake hands and show some respect. You'd think they'd have that go over have it finished from there, but they didn't. They decided to have Cody get, knocked off television with Seth Rollins using a sledgehammer to the back of I believe in the back of the neck of Cody to put him out of commission. But I mean, They didn't have to do anything to take him off TV. He's already off TV. A torn pec muscle is going to take you off TV no matter what the fuck you do, whether you leave it alone or you do what you just did last night. But I don't understand. Why wouldn't Seth Rollins be the best replacement for Cody Rhodes as a face? I don't get it. Now, don't get me wrong. The image of Cody getting backstabbed by Seth Rollins with a sledgehammer to the back of the neck was definitely a Triple H type of moment. Triple H back in the Attitude Era would do shit like that. And Seth Rollins is always kind of mirror image Triple H in a way. I mean, not wrestling style, but personality wise, he would do anything to win if he has to. So, him going ahead and doing that out of revenge of the fact that he's lost 3 matches in a row back to back to back, I could understand them going that route, but to have the person to replace Cody is with fucking what? What Edge? Edge is in the middle of trying to build this Judgment Day gimmick, and yet none of it makes any sense to begin with. I honestly wasn't a fan of this Judgment Day shit. I mean, I like the creativity of Edge trying to change his gimmick and evolve a little bit from the rated R superstar, but these people around him, Damian Priest, yeah, I like Damian Priest. I think he fits well. Rhea Ripley, she's shit. She's been shit from the moment she joined. She's been shit anywhere she goes. This woman is terrible. That match with Charlotte has ultimately destroyed her career. She's never bouncing back for that. She is dead, in my opinion. She is fucking done. She is trash beyond trash. And that's not her fault. That's WWE creative. They make her sound like a fucking retard, man. Let her speak her own words. Jesus Christ, man. Fucking dopes. That's all they are, man. They're a bunch of morons. So they cut Edge out of the group. Now he's a face, supposedly. Why they have him cut his hair then if they had the intention of removing him from the fucking Judgment Day? I don't understand this nonsense. They took away his iconic hair, the long hair, so he can cut his hair for a new gimmick, and yet they're going to revert him back to the old gimmick now that his hair is cut. Who the fuck gives a shit? The hair is one of the most iconic things of the rated R superstar. Now, granted, I probably will get used to him not having the hair long, but still, I mean, come on. That was what he always had when he was the rated R superstar, was long hair. Now he's going to have the short hair, which was supposed to be the Judgment Day Edge. And now we got to see him with short hair as rated R superstar all over again. It's fucking dumb. Met 87 Eagle says Cody out. WWE has no top baby face. So WWE, in their no existent wisdom, kicked Edge out of Judgment Day to turn him face, erasing all the work he did to build the Judgment Day gimmick. Well, I don't know, man. I think it's absolutely retarded. I really do. Black Star Company. This is a new one. Thank you for the comment there, Black Star Company. He states that Edge actually made the group relevant. But Vince always changes things. Yeah, I know. He is always changing shit. That's why his shows fucking suck. That's why nobody's watching it as much as they used to. They used to average at least 3 to 4 million when they were just middle ground, like they were just average. When they were just average, they just, they would average about 3 to 4 million people. When they were in the Attitude Era, oh my gosh, they would average about 4 to 6 million viewers per week. You don't believe me? Go look it up. I mean, I've done my research back then. That's why fucking WCW Nitro and Thunder lost to Raw and SmackDown. And if you look at WCW is bringing in more ratings than WWE is right now. I mean, they were bringing in about 2 to 3 million a fucking week with their trashy programming back in 2000. That was WCW's ratings. They never averaged under 2 million ever in their existence before they went out of business. That's an amazing accomplishment despite the fact the shows were absolute shit. Black Star Company also states that Cody is the only reason I watch Raw. Who else is the top guy since the Fiend got fired? Is he coming back? Yeah, I've heard some rumors that he may be coming back actually. And if that's the case, I'll be fine with that. That'll give me even more reason to maybe have a closer eye on Raw. But let's be honest, man. There ain't nothing on WWE that's even worth anybody's time. They're worse than Impact Wrestling. The only reason why I've stopped, reviewing Impact Wrestling as much as I was before. I was starting to do it more and more each week, but I stopped. They're not evolving. They're not able to go to bigger venues. They're not doing anything. They're just kind of spinning their wheels and going nowhere. That's all they're doing. They're in one place doing nothing else. And Bray Wyatt, on the other hand, yeah, he's been making mention and giving people the idea that he's coming back to WWE. I think that's the smart move, despite the fact I hate the company. And I'll explain why. Where else is Bray Wyatt going to continue to portray the Fiend? Honestly, where is he going to portray where else can he redo the image or redo a character like the Fiend? I don't think he can recreate that or create a new one that's as good as the Fiend was. I mean, Bray Wyatt, the Swamp Bray Wyatt cult leader, that was good, but nowhere near the Fiend, because the Fiend, folks, you could have taken that character and turned it into a movie character. Honestly, he was doing some things with that character, that stuff you could see in a horror movie. Literally. I found it very interesting. And it was kind of mirror imaging Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type stuff. So that's just kind of how I saw it with the Fiend. And I thought it was excellent stuff. Daniel says, thoughts on Cesaro likely to return in WWE? Why the fuck would he return? I have no idea why he would even consider coming back. He was doing nothing. He's going to do nothing again. What is he going to accomplish going back to WWE? I don't get that. I mean, go do something else with your career, man. There's other places. Ring of Honor. Tony Khan would love to have Cesaro in Ring of Honor. He'd probably utilize him, right? Make him a television champion. Maybe have him compete over the Pure Wrestling Championship. Something of that kind of stuff. Or even the World Championship in Ring of Honor. But, hey, I mean, if he wants to come back to WWE to sit there and do nothing and get paid, I guess that's an easy way to earn a paycheck. Maybe he needs the money for all I know. But he's not going to accomplish anything creatively with his character. That's all I got to say about that. Matt87 Eagle says, are we going to see Edge and Styles team up, putting the past few months behind them because Finn turned on them both? That's just lazy writing and questions people's intelligence. I hope not, Matt. I hope this is just strictly Finn Balor, Edge, one-on-one, competing over who's the best. And maybe this moves Edge up into the WWE Championship realm of things. I actually would be fine with that. Because honestly, Edge is losing. There's time going by for him, and that sand clock, the clock of his time clock is starting to run out to get that WWE/Universal Championship under his belt before he retires. So I hope he manages to accomplish that at some point before he retires. Otherwise, we're never going to see Edge as the WWE/Universal Champion ever at this point. At the rate they're going, he probably will never see the championship in his hands. Black Star Company says, any news on Sasha Banks? Is she coming back? Bloodline needs a new member. No, Sasha Banks is not coming back. She has been suspended indefinitely without pay. They have not mentioned when she's going to be returning or anything like that. They are completely discontinuing anything with her at this point. Naomi's in the same boat, pretty much. They are upset with the fact that they decided not to show up to perform when they originally had the idea in the bag to do this, but they were notified hours before the show went on the air. So technically, they didn't really, they weren't unprofessional. They had enough time to fix the issue. I mean, granted, let's be honest. I just stated that at 7:30 yesterday, they had the script finally finalized for them to go ahead and get started with the show 30 minutes before the show is supposed to go on the air. You don't do business like that. You have the freaking script done by the weekend being over. By Sunday night, that script should be fucking done and then presented to everyone in the morning so that they can prepare and know what the hell they're doing on the night of the show. That's the way I would do it. But apparently, they think doing it 15 minutes before their segment for them to rehearse or do whatever they got to do to get the damn segment over is the best way to do business. I don't understand it, and I really don't give a shit. I hope he goes to Japan or Impact. I think he'd do well wherever he goes. Are you talking about Cesaro, Daniel? I think that's what you're talking about. If he goes to Impact Wrestling, I think that would probably be a great place. Aiden English is over there under another name. He's an announcer. He also wrestles once in a blue moon. And Aiden English is not bad on the mic as a commentator with Tom Phillips. So yeah, I could see Cesaro in Impact Wrestling. I think he would get over very well. I think a match between him and Josh Alexander would be an excellent matchup over the Impact World Championship, or just a singles match without the title on the line would be fine with me. But personally, I don't see the point of Cesaro going back to WWE. I think it's a waste of his time. He's just going to sit there and do nothing. But hey, if he just needs the money, if I was him, yeah, I'd fucking take it and go to WWE and take the money and sit there and do nothing. I'd exercise in the back, lift some weights, whatever. I'd fucking chill, watch some TV shows off of my phone. I mean, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd just sit back there and chill and just do whatever if that's what they wanted to do. If they wanted to re-sign him and bring him back and have no plans for him on TV, fuck, I'd take it just for sitting there. If he doesn't give a fuck about his legacy as a professional wrestler, to him, this is just a normal, ordinary job like the rest of us that work 9 to 5. I mean, I guess, yeah, who gives a shit? It doesn't fucking matter at that point. But to be quite frank, yeah, I think Japan and Impact Wrestling would be his best choice if he can't go to AEW if they can't afford him. I'd say Impact Wrestling is the best place for him because it's a smaller little company. He'll get more acknowledgement. People, the higher ups in Impact Wrestling are going to want to use him more. They do that a lot. I mean, look at Matt Cardona. He looks like a fucking main event star over there. Brian Myers, another guy who used to go by Kurt Hawkins, he's looking good there too. And he was a fucking jobber in WWE. So truthfully, guys, this guy Cesaro would make it in Impact Wrestling. With them, they'd utilize him and make his time worth being there. So that's just my thoughts on that. Black Star Company says, your thoughts on Austin Theory? Is he going against John Cena at the end of the month? I don't think he's facing John Cena at Money in the Bank. He's been announced to be on the show next week on Raw, John Cena, or not this week, but the end of this month on June 27th. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to have Austin Theory and John Cena have a face-to-face confrontation verbally. This is going to lead to Austin Theory maybe starting something with him and eventually moving moving this along with the United States Championship on the line at SummerSlam, which I'd be totally fine with. Um, there's also somebody I follow, JD from New York 206, believes that John Cena winning the U.S. Championship from Austin Theory would be the best thing to do, because they could do the U.S. Championship Invitational every single week. This would help build new stars from NXT. I kind of agree with that. That will also bring some value to the United States Championship. The only thing I don't like is that we cut the United States Championship reign short for Austin Theory. That's the only downside to this. But there's a lot of positives out of it by giving the title to John Cena. And it's not really to give him an amazing reign as a U.S. champion. It's more along the lines to help get these other young stars from NXT to go up against John Cena and get them some notoriety and get really noticed by the casual wrestling fans and get behind those characters. So if that's the route that they go, I'm totally fine with that. I think that should be only maybe a 1 month thing, maybe two the max. But outside of that, I think after 2 months, they should just have the title removed out of John Cena's hands and given to a young star. The person I believe should beat John Cena for that U.S. championship, if they decide to go this route, is Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker would be an excellent fit for the United States Championship coming out of NXT. So I honestly think that Braun Breaker is the best choice to go with to beat John Cena for the United States Championship. Austin Theory, he can go off and do something else in the try to move him up a little bit further towards the main event. I think he's been in mid card for quite a while now. He's a young star. If they use him at a faster rate to the main event scene and test the waters with him, maybe give him a championship opportunity somewhere near the Royal Rumble, which they used to do. They used to use young stars to compete against the champion to go one on one. And I believe those were more used for like testing the waters and seeing how a young superstar would perform under a very high important match that they would need to go after for the title and whatnot, whatever way you want to say it. But yeah, I believe they definitely did that at the Royal Rumble. I think Austin Theory getting a match for for a WWE or Universal Championship opportunity would be a smart move on WWE's part to see how well he would do in that situation. All right. Anyway, CEO of Berserk says Brian Myers had the biggest losing streak in WWE history. I know. Now Impact Wrestling treats him like he's everybody else, like he's an important star on their show. And that's important. That's something WWE ought to learn how to do with everybody else that they feel is important, but apparently they don't think anyone's important. Daniel says they should have let John Cena go for the IC title to have him be a Grand Slam. I was also thinking this, guys. I was thinking maybe since we're unifying all these fucking belts anyway, why don't we go ahead and have John Cena beat Ricochet for the Intercontinental Championship, and then have John Cena and Austin Theory compete over both belts to unify the U.S. and Intercontinental Championship. That's an idea. I don't know. Just my thoughts. I think that would be a neat way to give John Cena a Grand Slam um, record. It's not really all that important, but I mean, it's something to think about. Black Star Company says, who will dethrone Roman Reigns? I think it's going to be Cody, at least for the WWE Championship. And if they can get things right with Drew McIntyre and get him back on track, Drew McIntyre could be the guy that holds the Universal Championship. There's word going around that Drew McIntyre is supposed to beat Roman Reigns at the Clash of the Castles for this UK special event in September. And he's supposed to be the guy to dethrone him for just the Universal Championship. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think it should happen. I think he should lose the fucking titles at WrestleMania. We need to get off the Roman Reigns versus Rock storyline because The Rock has nothing to do with WWE anymore. Rock has a lot more important things to do, such as being Jack Sparrow and being the fucking genie in the lamp for Aladdin. He's got a lot of other things on his plate than worrying about what WWE is going to offer him for a couple of $1,000,000. Okay, he's going to make tons of money pretending to be Jack Sparrow. Okay, and trying to equal the same skills of an actor as Johnny Depp was as Jack Sparrow. Come on. Can you imagine this? They fucking just throw in a storyline where they say that Jack Sparrow got roided out on steroids because that's how he got big. And he decided to do a Michael Jackson in the opposite direction to get his skin darker. I'm just shitting with you guys. Black Star Company says, who will win the Money in the Bank, men and women? Oh boy, that's a tough one to say at this point. I will say this: the women, you guys may not like this, but I think WWE would go out of their way just to fucking piss us all off. They'd have Becky Lynch win the freaking Money in the Bank briefcase for the women and have her challenge Bianca Belair at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's title. That I believe will happen. For the men, trying to think here. Wow. The only person I can possibly think could be the best person to go with would be Seth Rollins. Have Seth Rollins win the WWE Championship later on this year against Roman Reigns. They had an awesome matchup that did not end very well. The ending was trash, but the match quality was very fun, and there was good storyline told throughout. So Seth Rollins winning the Money in the Bank briefcase and beating Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship would be a smart idea to go with. And then you have Cody Rhodes win the Royal Rumble next year and have Seth and Cody Rhodes go at it for match number 4 over the WWE Championship at WrestleMania and have them headline it as the main event and fuck Roman. Well, no, they're going to do a 2-night event. So yeah, they could just do night 1 and then Roman Reigns and whoever he's going to be challenged by for his Universal Championship at night 2. But honestly, I really don't see The Rock coming back. I don't see him ever competing in WWE again. I think this is a pipe dream that is possible, but because of constraints on The Rock's work schedule, it's never going to happen. It's just a wish that it won't be, given. So that's pretty much it, guys. So at this time, if there is any more comments that you guys would like to say before I hang up, I'll give you a few seconds to go ahead and leave a comment in the chat. Matt87 Eagle says, give Seth the Money in the Bank briefcase, beat Roman Reigns, Cody wins the Royal Rumble. Boom, there's your WrestleMania Night 1 main event. That's what I just said, Matt. So there you go, guys. Anyway, any more comments in the chat? Would you, if you'd like to, go ahead and leave it now. Forever hold your peace. Daniel says, what's your prediction for later on for WWE? Oh, you mean like if they're staying in business? Are they going to get better? I don't understand. It's a very broad question. Could you narrow it down a little bit, Daniel? Waiting for a response, Daniel, please. We were over an hour, and usually I close up shop by an hour. All right, Black Star Company, I'll give you a little time, Daniel, since Black Star commented here. CM Punk too old to hold the strap? No, I don't think he's too old to hold the strap. I think that CM Punk is just dealing with a minor injury. And he's going to come back and he's going to be fine. There's no real big issue with him. And then last thing, and then I'm going to hang up with you guys at this point in time. Daniel says, who's getting released or not? Oh, okay. My predictions on who's getting released from WWE, I have to say that that would have to be Mustafa Ali, most definitely. Shotzi Blackheart's going. She's gone. No doubt about it. Probably a few extra NXT guys that I don't even watch anymore. So I don't know who the hell is doing good and who's doing shitty in NXT at this point. Because every 6 months they said they're going to release people from NXT. Cedric Alexander definitely is going. Shelton Benjamin, if he's not already released, he will be released. And that's pretty much all I can think of at this point off the top of my head because I don't watch WWE on a week-to-week basis. But that's just my thought on who are the major names that probably more than likely will be released at this point in time. But anyway, guys, at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that, guys. And I thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.